I've been working towards a secret goal for the last month. Curing villagers, building an iron farm, it was all part of the plan. Today, we finished that plan, and it changes everything. Again. Welcome back to Chunk by Chunk. Okay, before we get started, I want to upgrade our tools because these aren't that good, and we have the level 30 enchanting table. You could see we almost have 30 levels right down here. And you might be wondering how we have 30 levels. We actually did a little live stream and worked on the mob grinder for the mob spawner we found over there. We have a new entrance to it now. If we go down this way and down the stairs and down more stairs, then around here, right here is the entrance to the skeleton spawner. Down more stairs. And right here, we have the spawner. We stand here, they drop down, we take some swipes. We have some stuff. We have a little plant here, a lantern with a wooden backdrop. I think this place is looking pretty cool. We just winged it on stream. Nothing too crazy, but it definitely does the job. Let's break into the redstone to see, well, it's not actually redstone, but let's see how things are working. The spawner's here, the skeleton spawn. They drop down. Do I have any torches? And they push each other into there. And it works all right. I could do a better system here so they always go in and they don't rely on each other to push them into the water stream. But I think this is good enough for now. Okay, let's do it. 30 levels. Yes. Okay, let's go enchant something because this is a big moment. Lots of those lately. Okay, what is in the enchanting table? Do we have a blank one? On efficiency, unbreaking, fortune 3. I've been waiting for this for a while. Okay, let's just make another pickaxe, grab some lapis, and fortune 3, unbreaking 3, efficiency 4. Let's do this. No way, called it. That's what you get for putting some good energy into the world. This is so nice to have. The only other thing we could do is put a mending book on it. We take that and throw an anvil somewhere. Where should this go? I don't really have a spot for it. I have 2 stone cutters. I've been looking for this one for so long. I made a new one to put there. That's a bit silly. Okay, that's fine. And fortune, let's name it. Feels crazy to have something this good in this world. Let's disenchant this to see what else. It's another fortune 3, which means we could probably get something good for boots and such. But just make another set of armor. Chestplate, boots, hat. Okay, I'm breaking 3. I'm breaking 3. Okay, now comes the fun part, just cycling through some of these enchantments until something looks good, grinding out some levels to upgrade everything. Okay, I'm gonna do more enchanting and see what we could get, and then we'll be right back. I think we did a pretty good job with the enchanting table. We have all the enchantments here and not too shabby, but I did go ahead and go through some of our books from fishing, and we'll use these to top off our armor, add things we don't have like feather falling and sweeping edge. I'm gonna do it. An efficiency 5 pickaxe in this world. Better not lose it to the void. I forgot mending. So we'll have to do some trades with the villager too so we could get mending on all our stuff, or as many things as possible for now. So we'll be right back after we combine the books with the armor and the tools, and then we'll work on that secret goal. So the tools are all enchanted, but more importantly, another wandering trader, which is awesome, and I did already check this out. At first, I thought nothing special. We have dark oak, we have jungle, but then pumpkin seeds and melon seeds. That is pretty good for getting some more emeralds. This actually isn't so good for emeralds because I have another villager down here. We could check that out right now. In here, I grab some iron from the iron farm. I trade it to the toolsmith, and yeah, this is a pretty good way to get emeralds. And diamond tools. Pretty crazy that we could just do this now. At least we'll have the opportunity if we want to set up a melon farm or a pumpkin farm. And drop that off, 12 and 12. It is crazy that another wandering trader popped up. I feel like that happened pretty fast, and I was only logging on to work on my resource pack for the mod. So I have this texture updated now, this one updated. It's definitely still a work in progress, but I've had these done for a while and figured I would throw them onto the game. While we're here, let's check out all the fully upgraded gear because I have no tools on me and the bad armor. We could just put this away first and get rid of that sword. So right here in this chest, we have a great sword, a silk touch pick, a fortune pick, an axe, a shovel, and pretty good armor too. The boots are important with depth strider and feather falling. We have aqua affinity, respiration. Yeah, I am pretty happy with this gear, and mending on all of it, which is easy because we have a lot of emeralds now. I do want to drop off the fortune pick because I like playing with the silk touch one usually, and those could go in there. Let's test out efficiency 5 on the cobblestone generator. I think we could reach all the way back. Maybe not all the way, but this is definitely going really fast. And now that we have all our gear upgraded, we should start working on the big secret project for today, the moss farm. And while we collect some materials and start working on the farm, we'll go into the details of the plan. Before we start building the actual farm, we need to gather some resources. Luckily, most of the stuff was found just rummaging through some chests, but there are a few odd blocks that we still need. We're also gathering materials for the main build, 2 birds, 1 stone. Now that we have everything and we're building the farm, let's talk strategy. A few months ago, I realized we could put moss into the World Forge and it creates world cores. So far, we've been using cobblestone to run the World Forge and it's been okay. It's pretty easy to gather with our cobblestone generator, but it uses tool durability and can't run by itself in the background. The moss farm though will run completely by itself. We just need to give it some bone meal, which we also collect automatically in the background. Once we have this running, we can really start making progress towards beating the Ender Dragon. The hope is it becomes super easy to run the world scanner to find another fortress and a stronghold. 2 key pieces of getting to the end. So hopefully the plan pulls together. Now, talking some details about the farm, it's an edited version of a moss farm by Chapman Farms. It's just a bit smaller to fit into a single chunk, has a different storage module, and doesn't replenish itself with enough bone meal. And the moss farm is complete. All we have to do is hit this lever and it starts making moss. Yep, it's definitely working. There's only one way that this farm breaks, or at least I think there's only one way. If this runs out of bone meal, then the pistons will push the blocks and it will break this part. We can't put furnaces here because I need this space to build, but we have furnaces here to stop it breaking from this side. So at least it's only one side to fix if anything breaks. But I'm really not too worried about the bone meal because we have a skeleton farm and we have a generic mob farm, so we have lots of bones. I definitely want to load that up right now because this is all we have. All the non-moss blocks get filtered out and go through these hoppers into this composter, but that doesn't really provide with much bone meal. It will give a little to the farm, but not so much. This is a pretty impressive amount of moss so far. So the first source of bones is right here. Yeah, that's pretty good. We have a small mob farm there that just drops them down here, and this works great because there's not a lot of space that mobs could spawn in this world with only, I think we have less than 15 chunks or so. And then we have a ton of bones here, yeah. I have no more room in my inventory, so this will have to do for now. I think it should fill up the droppers anyway. Okay, let's make all this into bone meal and load the system up because I don't want anything breaking. And this is the last dropper, but I actually forgot about something else I wanted to do. Hopefully I have another hopper over here. Okay, to the main storage house because we need 1 hopper and a double chest. 1 hopper, and let's make a double chest. We'll put that right there. We could put a chest here. If I could hit it, we could just go like that and like that. And now we can dump all the extra bone meal into this chest. So when this starts to go upwards, it could pull from this and we'll be generating more from the composter system. So hopefully this farm will not break. Okay, with all the bone meal in, we just need to keep this running for a bit, and it's probably time to start working on the actual build for this because this is a little bit of an eyesore in the world. And the build is done. You can see it as we go around this corner, and I think it's looking pretty sick. It's definitely the biggest thing we've built in this world. The size of this build was probably the biggest struggle because we needed to fit the moss farm inside of it, which is why we had to shrink down the original design. And this is really on the edge of the chunk. I try to keep all the builds in this world within a single chunk because I think that fits with the nature of this world. The barns in one chunk, the storage builds in one chunk. The pens kind of escape the chunk a little bit, but for all the big builds, even the bridges are in one chunk. I really like the consistency we have with one chunk per build. There was an earlier version of this build where it was literally hanging off the back of the chunk in the air and overflowing to this chunk a little bit too. Besides the fact that it was actually hanging off the chunk, it just felt too big for this world with everything else being smaller. So we chopped off the side of it and repurposed it, made the moss farm smaller, and I think it's looking great now. We used the same style for this as this building over here, the World Forge with the diorite and spruce and the cobblestone base, the same as some of these more factory style builds, and I think that's pretty cool, even though it is kind of in the farming area with the wheat, the barn, the cows. This was something I had a dilemma about. I finished the build and I was thinking, should I redesign it and make it so it actually fits into the farming area of this world? This is definitely a more industrial sized building with the massive chimney. But I already worked so much on this build. I didn't want to change it. I wanted to get it into this world. And I think the moss, it kind of feels like an overgrown factory, which is kind of cool. And honestly, we didn't really have a lot of room to put it over here without making new chunks, and I didn't want to hide it behind this massive desert chunk because it's a pretty cool build, I think. It should be visible throughout while we're walking around here. While we're talking about this, we should actually turn this on because it was on for about half the time we were building it, and how much moss do we have? Almost a full chest here, a row here. That's pretty much it. There was some missing because we already took about a shulker box worth and put it into the World Forge. It would be cool to have this connected right to that. I was kind of thinking about putting pipes in the world or water streams and making it flow to go right into here because, wow, we already have two. We didn't have much in here before, but that moss is really gonna let us have a lot of world cores to expand. Back to what I was saying, I thought it would be cool to put it over there or put it underground, but whatever. We're just gonna do it this way, a little bit more manual. Won't have to use the cobblestone farm much, which is a little bittersweet. We had the original version here with just one. We made the upgraded one a few episodes ago, and this is much faster, but the moss farm is fully automatic and much faster than this, so we have to stick with the moss. Let's go into some of the other details about the build. I think this control room is pretty cool, pretty simple, but we have the light to see if it's on or off. The chimney, we could get a good view from here. Originally, it was going through the build, but I thought it was cool to make it come out a little bit and give this side a little bit more character. That definitely adds some good to the build. And then on the other side, we have another one of these over here. In the original build, it was right over here, but I moved it here, and I think that's cool. It adds more character to this build. And we also have some pixel art of an azalea bush right here, which I think is pretty cool. I really love how the door here turned out. It's a 1.5 design, so we have one here, and then basically a half and a half. I think that's cool. It gives this more character. The interior of this is really bad, and it will probably stay that way because the output is right here, so we don't have much room to make even a little room to make this better, but it does the trick. And how are we doing on bone meal? We're still doing pretty well. How's the composter system going? I had to add more hoppers here just to make sure that the system doesn't get overflowed because I think it's pulling from this chest first, but we have a lot of bone meal going into the system, so hopefully this won't break and push the build just out that way, because it will do that. It will break the farm, it will break the build if we run out of bone meal. That's pretty much all I want to say about this build. So with the main project done for today, and honestly a big goal we've been working on for a while done. I want to get back to some smaller projects in the world. There are a few things that have been bothering me, like these torches, the snow over there, that I definitely want to fix real quick. For the snow piling up on this bridge, because this is a snowy, icy chunk, we could just put some of this here, and that should stop most of it. I think sometimes snow appears there. Are there mobs under here? I don't even know how that's possible. Should we go in? 1, 2, 3. Oh, we have amazing armor now. This is so easy. They probably come in from there. What's this way? Oh, that's my mine. Don't be a creeper. There's probably a creeper in here somewhere. Oh, this is not that good for the lag of the world. Is that a zombie villager? I wonder how long... Oh, it's a nitwit. I wonder how long that guy was there. Okay, this is kind of crazy. This is a squidding farm. 14 ink sacks. I don't know how we're gonna stop that, but I put torches here. They might still spawn on the edge here, but whatever. And some quick repairs. Okay, back on track. The snow should be pretty good on this bridge. Hopefully that doesn't pile up anymore. And now to do these torches, because that actually should be pretty easy too. I want to grab some fence posts. Do we have? Oh, we have a bunch. And we have a lot of lanterns. I want to grab coarse dirt too. I think the lanterns are over there with some of our building supplies for the moss farm build. I also like how this path is just hanging off the side of the chunk. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, so no lanterns in here. I was kind of wrong about that, but while we're here, there is one more thing I wanted to add. It's really nice to have all this moss because we don't have a lot of dirt and grass blocks in this world, so now we could do more terraining here and around the back, so that's a pretty cool bonus of having a moss farm. Now let's get some lanterns. It's actually really easy now because we have an iron farm, but even easier, we can do some trades with the toolsmith, and we have 12 emeralds. Let's put these back here. And now we could use these emeralds to buy lanterns, because the hard thing about crafting lanterns is actually the torches, because I don't have much coal in this world. It is a little annoying that all the villagers are separate, but we make do, and 12 lanterns. That should be plenty, right? Otherwise, I feel like I should have more in here somewhere. I know there's... Okay, I couldn't find it again, but let's get to work. Just some fence posts around with some lanterns on top. I think that's pretty good. Let's also... I want to add some coarse dirt here because I think that will be nice. Really adding some attention to detail in this world. I think that will be cool. Lantern there. Do we want to put one here just on the sheep pen? I don't really want to, so we won't. How should we do this? Something like that. I don't really know if that looks good, but... And then over here, it's pretty easy to throw the fences along the side of the path. I think that's looking much better. Oh, we still need to do that side. And these Endermen need to stop putting their dirt blocks everywhere. These guys. Looting is so nice for our Ender Pearl collection. Ender Pearl count, 16 plus 5, we have 21. That's pretty sick. So I placed a few more lanterns around, and now I think we have lanterns everywhere we need to. I'm really happy with how all the lanterns look around the world. I think that looks much better than the torch spam we had before. And with that, that's pretty much the end of this episode, but I did want to take these 4 world cores that we have and do something with them. I wanted to make 3 of these into unstable chunk spawners. We only have enough materials to make 2, so let's make 2 for now. We'll save one of these for later, and then we'll use this to put into a world scanner. And I'm not talking about the world scanner we have over there. I want to use the one in the nether, because we really need to find this nether fortress. And we're doing that by scanning the world for nether brick. So let's put one of these world cores in and see if we generate any nether fortresses around here. While that is going, oh, I should put on the golden chest plate. I also have an ender pearl in case we fall into the lava. I figured that would be pretty good. But we're going to use the unstable chunk spawners to see if we could randomly get a chunk with a nether fortress. Let's put one right here, see what we get. Yeah, a lot of these chunks have been like this. Not really great, but this is also why I brought the moss along, so we can scaffold a little bit and place another chunk. Let's see what we get with this one. I thought lava was going to go right in my face with that one. And it doesn't really seem like we got anything from this one either, so We'll have to check back at the world scanner, see if we get anything. And yeah, nothing still, and this is almost out of juice. It has been a real struggle trying to find this nether fortress, but with the moss farm, we should be able to run this much quicker and use some unstable chunk spawners, hope to get lucky, or hope to find a fortress in this area. If there's none in this area, we're gonna have to make another one of these far out and try again. So I'm hoping we could get something soon, because that was another core with nothing here. Thought that would be a fun way to end the episode. Should we try one more unstable chunk spawner? I know I said we didn't have the materials, but I just don't want to smelt the copper right now, but we'll do it because I want to see if we could get lucky. The unstable ones are always a gamble, and that's a little fun because we could just keep on making more of them, really. Copper goes in and smelts. And now we have 4 copper for one more unstable chunk spawner. Let's go right through this again because I don't know why. I don't really need to go just in this direction, but... And click it. What is it? Just a crimson forest, and there's like no land on this one. I'm really losing hope in this unstable chunk spawner method, so we might have to really go hard on the world scanner. And I think with that, it's about time to wrap up this episode. Even though we struck out with the nether fortress, the main goal of this episode was getting this moss farm in, because with this, we should be able to use the world scanner in the nether so much faster and hopefully find this fortress. We have a ton of moss to use, so that's pretty good. And we have a ton of bone meal too to run this thing and make more moss. Even besides the moss farm, I almost forgot we upgraded all our armor, all the tools, so I think we're in pretty good shape. We're looking pretty good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'm looking forward to the next one, trying to find that fortress and maybe even taking on the Ender Dragon. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a good one.